Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com. Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from Midtown Manhattan, New York City. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis, producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope if you have children and they're basketball fans, they might have told you in recent days that Anthony Edwards is their new favorite professional basketball player, because if so, I guess that was a fun thing for them last night. He went big. Timberwolves over the Grizzlies in downtown Minneapolis. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, Chris Vernon is going to join me. He, of course, is the host of the Chris Vernon Show, weekdays noon, Grind City Media. He'll pop in. We'll talk all things Grizzlies, NBA. Chris Vernon will be here in about 20 minutes. Finish talking to him, go take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we will discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, possible future Memphis Grizzlies. Darren Peterson had a rough night last night. He shot 16.7% from the field. Bill Self got ejected. Kansas lost again. Wild night in the Big 12. I'll tell you what happened in about 40 minutes. The best story in college basketball, it improved to 30-0 last night. Special shout to the Miami Redhawks. We'll celebrate perfection. We'll do it in just a bit. UCLA beat a top 10 Nebraska team last night to finish the regular season undefeated at home in regulation. What the Bruins just did at Pauley is actually kind of crazy. I'm going to tell you exactly what it was. We'll do it a little later on in the show. BYU star A.J. Dybansta, also a possible future Grizzly. He said he might not leave college after his freshman season with the Cougars. I've heard this before. I'm going to go ahead and call BS on it. We'll do that in the third segment. And Florida is your outright SEC champion. Will the Gators go back-to-back NCAA tournament winners? I'm going to ask Bennett what he thinks. We'll do it during a segment we call 5 more things you need to know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carryout, and then we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because Game 60 of a scheduled 82, it was played last night in downtown Minneapolis. The Grizzlies did not win, so in some ways, The Grizzlies actually won. Final score, Timberwolves 117, Grizz 110. Anthony Edwards, arguably the best American-born player in the NBA right now. He took 29 shots. He made 15 of them. He finished with 41 points, 6 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 assists, 1 block. That's a nice stat line. Grizzlies dropped to 23-37 overall, 11-20 away from home, alone in 11th in the West. Now just 2.5 games out of 12. If the Grizzlies can fall below Dallas in the standings and stay below everybody else they're already below, their chance to win the number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft, it could increase from 6% to 7.5%. And their chance to land a top 4 pick in the 2026 NBA draft, it could jump from 26.3% to 32%. Every percent matters. Big Bet Bennett, good to see you on this Wednesday morning.
You too, man.
We're now just 2 days away from watching our Roads Links F up Roanoke in Atlanta in the first round of the Division III NCAA tournament. The game is Friday. Tip is set for 3:45 p.m. Central. Don't forget to set a reminder. Anyway, good to see you on this Wednesday morning. Can you tell me what it was like to listen to Anthony Edwards score 41 points on radio?
It's surreal. It was surreal. No, he's pretty amazing.
Yes.
It was actually, that was in this situation that we find ourselves in, that was actually a pretty perfect scenario, I feel like. You're coming off a 2-game losing streak. Or a two-game winning streak.
Losing streak is I think we flipped everything.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
But you're coming off a 2-game.
Technically, for the casuals who don't understand what we're doing, for the casuals who don't really know how to move forward, then they're talking about we were coming off a 2-game losing streak. But for people like me and you, they talk about we're coming off a 2-game winning streak. For people like me and you, that was a 2-game.
You, not me. I like watching my team win games, but you.
I like watching my team increase lottery odds when that is the designated goal.
But I also understand. I also understand the situation. I'm just saying.
I know you understand. I know you understand the situation. I know where we are on this. We've talked through it a million times. I want to attack my goals clearly, whatever they are, whenever they are. If my goals are to win the NBA championship, I want to attack it head on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do everything we can to win an NBA title right now. If you tell me that's the goal, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But if the goal gets shifted around a little bit, then that's what I want to do.
I think
last night was a good night, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and the reason I say that is because the Grizzlies, they were super competitive in that first half. They had the lead at halftime. They, they kept the rebounding close against one of the biggest teams in the NBA. And so you're like, okay, they're hanging in there. This is kind of cool, And then it's just then I think the Timberwolves ended up out-rebounding them by 20. And so it's like, okay, well, you're just not winning that game. You don't have the size to be able to do it. And you got to see Anthony Edwards have a massive game as well, which was kind of cool. So it was all good.
He's great.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're sitting next to Eric, I started wondering this last night. When you're sitting next to Eric Hasseltine, radio voice of your Memphis Grizzlies, does he make you pay attention to him the way I demand you to pay attention to me?
Yes, he does.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, he will even he'll test me sometimes.
Oh, wow. I don't try to test you. I don't try to test you because I don't like being tested either.
No, he will catch me off guard sometimes and be like, what'd you think about that, Bennett Doyle? And I'll be like, one of those. So I gotta be on my toes when I'm doing radio with Eric, especially when he's solo, because he was solo on this road trip. So sometimes I gotta hop in there and. Yeah, I got to be on my toes.
Okay, that's interesting because I've got caught like that before on live on television.
Mm-hmm.
We were on desk, and I think it was. Do you remember John Camden? Is he somebody who played for Memphis for a minute?
John Camden.
Is that a
sounds
real
familiar.
Name? Is that a person? There was somebody. You'll get the point. It doesn't matter whether it was him or somebody else. So anyway, it was one of these. We're doing a
21-22.
Shouts to John Camden.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, we're doing a show inside college basketball. Maybe it's March. Maybe it's conference championship week. So he's now at a mid-major, this guy. And he's playing in a conference tournament, and he's doing something. And so we are showing their highlight. And John Rothstein has the highlight. And
and he knows everything about every player ever.
He knows everything about every player ever.
Yes.
All right? So he's on the other side of the desk, and I'm on this side of the desk. And at some point, I think a producer gets in my ear and is like, GP, can you get me something on this next thing that we're talking about? Probably because we're light on time and they need 45 seconds about something they didn't plan for. So they're like, GP, can you get me something on something? And I'm like, sure, I got you. And what that means is I hit them with a thumbs up while the camera's not on me and they see it.
Mm-hmm.
So meantime, Rothstein's doing a highlight of this game. And he's like, and then so-and-so's down 4, but here's John Camden, who used to play at GP. And I just looked right at him, and I'm the only thing I heard was GP. That's what knocked me out of what I was doing. But everything before GP, I heard none of it. So he was
teeing you up, man.
He was teeing me up to say, University of Memphis, go Tigers, go. And he was like, and John Camden, who, former player at GP. And I just went, huh? I was like, I just looked at him, and he goes, GP. And he did, and I said, I just copped to it live on TV.
Yeah.
I said, man, I didn't hear a word you said. And that's why you're better than me, because you pay attention. Well, I wasn't paying attention to John Rothstein the way you pay attention to Eric Hasseltine.
Well, let me go ahead and tee you up again. Can you tell me where John Camden is playing Division I college basketball right now?
No, but I could.
He's
call
having a
Rothstein.
pretty good. He's having a pretty good season, and guess where he's having it? In the ACC.
Okay, I have no idea. You tell me.
Cal. He's at Cal.
Okay, so that's why
he went from he went from Memphis to Virginia Tech to Delaware. I bet that's who y'all were talking about. Was Delaware?
Yes.
To Cal. He's playing at Cal right now. He's having a good year. Get 14 points a game.
He gonna end up living in every time zone if he keeps it up.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
He's doing pretty good. Okay, so Hasseltine makes you pay attention, and sometimes it's choir because if not, you get caught. That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Edey had surgery. It's been deemed successful. What'd you make of that?
I was hoping it would be deemed successful.
So was I. If I would have got at Grizzlies PR and it was like Zach Edey had ankle surgery today and it was unsuccessful, I would have been like, son of a.
Has that ever happened in the history of the NBA? I wonder if that's happened before. If we can find an injury report where it was like so and so had surgery today, it didn't go well, but we'll revisit in a couple weeks.
Well, first off, every surgery can't possibly go well. Like, doctors aren't perfect.
Surgeries go bad sometimes.
Surgeries go bad sometimes. People die, okay? People die. Sometimes people go into an operating room and they're like, all right, tell your kids goodbye for a minute. Tell your kids you'll see them when you wake up and your hip will be better. And you wake up and you're dead.
Yeah. Well,
which I guess means you don't wake up. That's the point.
I'm glad
this is how Kanye lost his mother.
Look, I'm glad it went well, and I'm glad that they added the part at the end that said that he should be ready to go for the 26-27 season. I think that's super important.
It is very important.
Just because of how much he set out this year and obviously dealing with the constant soreness. I just, again, we'll see, but that is extremely important that he's ready to go starting next season. So that's good.
Doctors aren't perfect, and yet immediately after every surgery, we say it's successful every time.
Yeah, I know.
It is wild. It is wild. Like, I don't do a perfect show every day, or even like most days. But what if after every show I was like, "Hey, the show's over and it was perfect today. It's successful."
We should start doing that.
Sometimes you would push back and you'd be like, "GP, it really wasn't that
perfect.
Great.
Come on."
You looked bad. You sounded like you were on 2 hours sleep. I don't know why you spent 7 minutes on that thing. That was not a perfect show. That was not a successful show. But these doctors, every time they're like, hey, I've completed my surgery. It's successful. They never think they fail.
I know. It's so true.
Perhaps it takes that kind of confidence to even get through medical school. You have to believe you never fail.
Yes, of course. You can't question yourself in these scenarios. You got to know.
It is wild to me that people do this for a living. Like, this is what I do for a living. And you realize almost no matter what happens over the next couple hours, it's fine. It's no big deal. Can you imagine being a profession where if you have a bad day at work, somebody might die?
No, I can't.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Like,
that's why you make a lot of money.
I know, but like I for Christmas or something, we got Operation. You ever dabble in Operation?
Of course I've dabbled in Operation.
I'm so bad at Operation.
I hate that game.
I kill that dude every time I get close to him.
I hate that game. It's just it rattles my brain. I got no time for that game at all. I'm trying to when we're playing games, I'm trying to be lighthearted and have fun and relax. Not here every 5 seconds. I hate that. I hate that game.
I kill that dude. I kill that dude 1,000 times. He's never lived with me. And can you imagine? I get nervous even when I look at him. Mm-hmm. Like he'd just be sitting on my dining room table. I glanced over at him. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like that's your real life every day? You wake up and it's your job to go into that guy, but it's real life stakes. Like you could kill this person today if you just like. You ever listen to that podcast, Dr. Death?
I didn't listen to the podcast, but I watched the documentary.
Yeah, that guy. He's a Memphis guy.
Yeah, he was at UT.
I used to know people who partied with him. Oh boy, they got some wild stuff. Yeah.
Did he tell him about how he liked to injure people in surgery?
No, it was mostly cocaine stories and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was a wild fella. But that's the thing. He was just cutting people open and then paralyzing them and killing them and stuff. Can't do that.
Wild dude.
I'm glad that's not my job. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I'm glad
I wouldn't be able to deal with it.
No.
The stakes are too high. Anyway, Zach Edey reportedly had a successful surgery.
Good.
Man, that is good. Do we have the ugliest fans in the NBA?
Okay, this, this really hurt. I mean, I felt like I was stabbed in the back when I saw this yesterday.
I felt like he was talking to you.
First off, I mean, listen, I am a fan of the Grizzlies, and I'm kind of an ugly dude, so
I mean, I'm not going to say that, but it's
point taken.
I'm not going to say
still
that.
Hurt. Okay,
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that, but sometimes people have beards to cover up for something they feel isn't adequate. I'm not saying that's you. Why do you have that beard? Have you ever actually asked yourself, why do you have that beard? Why do you have that?
I haven't.
Tell me that.
I haven't always had it. I started.
I didn't say you always had it.
In fact,
I'm asking, why do you have it now? Why do you have that beard?
Well,
let me be clear. Let me be clear. Okay, first off, let me say everything I need to say, and then I'm gonna turn it over to you. I like it too. You look good. I'm just curious. Why do you have that? Have you ever thought about that to yourself?
So really, what happened? And I want to say it was around when we came over here. I started growing it out, and then usually I would just grow it out in the wintertime. You grow your winter beard, and then you shave it off once the calendar changes. And then it was because it was no shave November, and then the calendar changed, and I was like, man, I'm kind of digging it. I'm gonna keep it for a little bit, and then it just kept growing, and then it got to the point where I don't have the guard on my razor to be able to shave it down, and so now
I could get you a guard. Come on.
Well, you're not this big, and so now it's just well, I'm kind of just in this, and there's nothing I can really do about it.
Well, that's just that's the part. There is quite literally something you could do about it within minutes.
Well,
what are you talking about?
And I kind of just.
You think you're trapped? You're not trapped with this beard.
I don't feel trapped. I don't feel trapped. I kind of like seeing how far it can go. A guy that I really respect is Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. I mean, he's been growing his out
respects Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top
for decades, and so I look at that guy and I'm like, man, I could aspire to be that man. I mean, I'm not a good guitar player.
You want to be Billy Gibbons?
I mean, I don't think there's any chance of that happening. It's just I admire that guy. When I see him, I'm like, man, that's a cool dude right there.
You admire Billy Gibbons?
That's a cool MF right there. I like that guy. I think he pulls it off well. Me, not so much. I don't really know why. Maybe I will shave it. Maybe I will shave it soon. But I'm digging it now. So
I got a story for everything, including Billy Gibbons.
I've met Billy. I got my picture with him.
First off, there's a ZZ Top documentary out there.
Oh, it's so good.
What is it on Netflix or something?
I think it's on Netflix still, yeah.
I thought it was Netflix. I watched it one time. There is nothing about me, even growing up as a Southerner who listened to rock and roll, there's nothing really about me that aspired in my adult life to watch a ZZ Top documentary. If you told me, hey, there's this new ZZ Top documentary coming out, I would not have said, oh, I can't wait for that. Mm-hmm. But I just watched it one night, and it was great. I love ZZ Top.
I love ZZ Top, too. I've seen him multiple times.
At the Pyramid?
Oh, that's pretty good. I saw him. Okay, I saw him at Music Fest, and I saw him at the place over by you, the Bank Plus.
Okay,
yeah.
I saw him at the Pyramid. I think this is true. And the opening act, tell me if you remember this band. Do you remember this band? And if so, tell me what you remember about this band, because there's one thing you would obviously remember. ZZ Top, Pyramid, opening act, Jackal.
Yeah, I remember Jackal. I think they still tour.
The dude played a chainsaw.
Yeah, I remember Jackal.
Most bands play like guitars and drums and pianos and stuff. This dude played a chainsaw.
Let's see if Jackal's still on the road. I guarantee they've played Gold Strike Casino recently. Let's see.
Bro, if Jackal is still on the road, I will 100% go see that guy play a chainsaw. You ain't lived. You seen a man play a chainsaw.
They were playing shows last year. I don't know if they're. Yeah. I don't know.
It might be over for them. I'd be surprised.
No, bro. They're playing Ormond Beach, Florida, this weekend, dude.
If you would have asked me,
they're playing at the Iron Horse Saloon this weekend in Ormond Beach, Florida. So
all of that, every bit of that makes sense.
Yeah,
every bit of that sounds right to me. If you'd have asked me, name the one state Jackal's playing in this weekend, I'd have said Florida. Anyway, I was like 16 years old. I was a kid. And I bought a shirt. There was a Jackal shirt. I bought a Jackal shirt. And on the on the front it had like the Jackal logo or whatever. And on the back, this is what it said on the back of the shirt. I was a teenager wearing this shirt. This was the shirt. Where were my parents? It said, "Rock me, roll me, jackal me off."
God, that's a great shirt.
Do
you still have it?
I don't think so.
That's a great shirt.
So I wore it. I wore it as much as I could.
Oh, we've all
I
done something like that.
I vividly remember being at I don't think it was Al's Golf Haven. You don't know nothing about Al's Golf Haven, do you? There used to be something called Al's Golf Haven. You don't even know. It's right
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay, I don't think it was that. It was something like that though, where you could like ride go-karts and hit baseballs and play miniature golf. And I was wearing my "Rock Me, Roll Me, Jackal Me Off" shirt as a child. I mean, think about that. If you saw a 16-year-old walking around with that shirt, it's outrageous. That's who I was. And so they came over to me. They tapped me on the shoulder. They were like,
"Young man,
yeah, you cannot have that shirt in here. There's a family trying to play miniature golf, and you got a "Rock Me, Roll Me, Jackal Me Off" shirt on, and you're 11." Like, what are you doing?
Man, shout out Jackal.
Shout out Jackal. That dude played a chainsaw. Hey, do we have the ugliest fans? That's what I was trying to ask you.
I think no. I'm going to go out on a limb. I haven't seen every other fan base, okay? So I can't pretend to know, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say no, we do not.
Whose fan base would be uglier than ours, you think?
See, I don't want to do this.
Let's get in this game.
No,
Let's get in this game.
Then it's,
the game is called a fan base ugly. Let's get in this game. Who do you think's got the ugliest fans? I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it ain't Phoenix.
Well, Charles Barkley once said it was San Antonio, but dude, San Antonio is one of the biggest cities in America. Like, that just can't be true.
And he was also like, he was like them fat women down in San Antonio, them big women down in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But what he might call fat, another person might call thick.
Yeah, I just think he was wrong there. I think he was wrong. I'm sure San Antonio has beautiful women.
I know they do.
Yeah.
I mean, not in any sort of weird way. It's just like I've been there a bunch of times for Final Fours and stuff.
Okay. So yeah.
I've seen pretty women there. I've never, hugged them or anything, but I've looked at them from across the court.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who you think then? New Orleans? New Orleans?
No way. I've been to New Orleans plenty of times.
You think their fans are better looking than ours?
I just don't really want to compare, if I'm being honest. I feel super uncomfortable.
Here's what I think.
I don't want to do this.
Name every. Hey, maybe this is what it boils down to. Name every Instagram model you've ever seen connected to Ja Morant. Now name every Instagram model you've ever seen connected to Zion Williamson. And you tell me who has uglier fans.
Okay.
The Pelicans or the Grizzlies.
Okay.
I think.
First of all.
I'm Team Ja on this one. I'm Team Ja on this one.
Okay, first off, how many of those Instagram models are even from the cities that you're talking about? Like, that's...
Probably zero. That's fair.
Yeah, they flew out.
They got flown out. They got flown out. That's the other thing. Who cares how ugly fans are? You can just fly somebody in whenever you want.
Okay, can you tell the people what you're referencing here? Because it really hurt my feelings yesterday.
Kyra,
Yeah.
I think we've got it. Marcus Smart was just talking. Oh, and by the way, I was just sitting around last night, not watching Marcus Smart play basketball, but it came across my timeline like, hey, Marcus Smart with a steal, the play of the game, and isn't he amazing? And I was like, what? How is Marcus Smart impacting winning in the year 2026? Because if so, I wouldn't mind seeing him do that in the year 2025.
Yep.
Anyway, he was asked about ugly fans, and this is what he said. Kyra, if you got it, let's do it.
Ugliest fans, Memphis. And I feel bad for them because that's, what I'm saying, Memphis is for the people, what I'm saying, they love, they support, but it just ain't it. It just ain't it.
Free Memphis.
What does that even mean?
Free Memphis.
No, and Memphis is for the people? Like, what are you talking about? Like, dude, first off, that really bummed me out. Like, I'm being serious now because you know how stoked I was when we made the move for Marcus Smart. Like, because I was obviously bummed about Dylan leaving, and I was like, but then that happened, and I was like, man, but this is one of my favorite players in the league. I love how he plays. I'm so stoked to have him on this team, and I bought the Funko.
No.
How many people have a Grizzlies Marcus Smart Funko besides me? I think I'm the only person in America.
Hey, hold that Funko. Hold it up a little closer to the camera if you can. Kyra, zoom in on that.
Can you zoom in on the? I don't
Let's
think
zoom in a little bit. If we can, we
she
can.
can't
Then
zoom
that's
in that much.
Okay, that's fine. But
There it
just
is.
like, hey, before I start calling an entire city's women ugly, I might want to look better in my Funko. That ain't the best looking Funko I ever seen.
That is a pretty cool Funko.
He does look good. I was trying to.
Marcus Smart's a good
I was
looking
trying.
dude.
He's a
Yeah.
good looking dude. There's nothing to say. I was trying to get him back.
We can't turn it around on him.
I was trying to turn it around on him and be like, "You're ugly too, Marcus Smart." But he's not.
Man,
he's not. He's a good looking dude.
I rode for that dude, and I swear to God, he had a new finger injury every time I looked up. Like, it was the worst experience ever. And I get it. Like, it wasn't necessarily his fault, but it sure as hell did not work out. It was disastrous, in fact. So, now he's calling us ugly. Like, come on,
Now
dude.
he's calling us ugly.
I get it. I get it. Okay, I get it.
So, hey, we get it. Look at me.
I look in the mirror every single day. I'm a Grizzlies fan. I get it, Marcus.
Frame it up, Kyra. Frame it up, Bennett. Let's smile. Let's smile for Marcus Smart. We understand. We know who we are. All right. We got it. We're not the best looking. All right. But you ain't the best playing.
Yeah, I think he's helping the Lakers now. I don't know. I haven't looked to see what he's doing this season. Really,
I don't know.
To forget.
I saw on Twitter last night he seemed to help him for a possession at least.
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted it.
Good.
Somebody was like, Marcus Smart just did something, and I was like, that good-looking son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He didn't do nothing when he was here. His biggest contribution to the Grizzlies, Marcus Smart's, was having a Tesla so that I could charge my Tesla on his charging station.
You did borrow his charging station that time.
That is the only thing he did good for this organization, is allow me to use his charger so I could get home without a tow truck. He's pretty good looking, though. And did you see the quote tweet? Did you see who else wanted to jump in?
Oh, no. Who?
Chandler.
Oh, shocking. Does David Fizdale have anything to say about it? I mean, my God. Can we just let everybody chime in?
Yeah, can't wait to hear David Fizdale chime in. Sure, he's got something to say. At least Taylor Jenkins doesn't say anything. At least he's just quiet.
That one was painful yesterday.
Thank God Taylor Jenkins doesn't have a podcast.
Damn, Marcus. That's why we shipped your ass to Washington.
In fairness, you ship somebody to Washington, you get what you get on the back end.
I guess that's true. That's true.
If the Grizzlies ever ship me to Washington, I'm gonna be talking shit too. All right. Okay. So I get it. I understand, but I didn't like to hear it. Chandler Parsons. In fairness to Chandler Parsons, in complete fairness to Chandler Parsons, he quote tweeted it and said, "They tried to tell me I was crazy," and did the crying, laughing emoji. In complete fairness to Chandler Parsons, There was one night, and Brent Stover, my buddy at CBS Sports, he still talks about this all the time. This is back when the American still had a CBS contract. Now it's all ESPN, I believe.
Yeah.
So we don't do Memphis games anymore unless it's connected to a different league. Like that Utah State game was on CBS Sports Network, but that's because it was at Utah State, and that's a Mountain West contract as opposed to an American contract. So we used to do American games all the time. Like I would be the sideline reporter. It was this is actually crazy. If you ever think about it.
I remember, yep.
I would go on radio and be like, fire Tubby Smith and hire Penny Hardaway. And I'd be a sideline reporter on Tubby Smith's game tomorrow.
Yep.
It was awkward.
Yeah.
If I could take some of it back, I would, honestly. I look back on that, and I know I was saying the right stuff, but I did not like my tone. I don't like my tone.
It's okay.
And you know what? If I'm being honest, I've said some things this week, and I think I'm right with my words, but sometimes I don't like my tone.
Okay.
Try to work on my tone.
I appreciate that.
That's sincere. I
believe
struggle
it's
with
sincere. I believe it's sincere.
I've struggled with that. I like my words, but sometimes I don't like my tone.
That's fair.
I'm trying to work on my tone.
Okay.
But in fairness to Chandler Parsons, Brent Stover tells a story. He loves this story. He was in town he was the play-by-play guy on a Memphis game. And I was going to be the sideline reporter on a Memphis game. And he was like, he's single, so he wants to go out all the time. And I was like, all right, I'll go out with you. Let's go out. Let's do downtown Memphis. And I even got like a room at the Westin. Like, we're just going to go out. We're going to pretend like we're not old men.
Okay.
And so we went out, and we're walking around. I think we're on Main Street at some point. I think we went to the old sushi spot, or we were somewhere down there. Anyway, trolley tracks. I remember it that way. And there's Chandler Parsons. We just bump into Chandler Parsons. And so we stop, and we start talking. And I'm like, how you been? What's going on? And we were all, I introduced everybody. Hey, Chandler, this is Stove. This is Chandler. And Chandler was with one of his buddies. And so now there's like 4 of us, and we're standing there chopping it up.
All right.
In fairness to Chandler Parsons, if you think he's just revisionist history on this stuff, I was like, so how's it been, man? How you been? And he goes, I swear to God, this is what he said. There are no good-looking bitches here. And I should take that back. I don't know if he said it like that, but it was that. It was along the line. There's no good-looking people here. And I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know. I used to be young, and I was at the Saucer. I think I saw a few. He's like, no. And he was like, there's nowhere to go. That is my lasting memory from that conversation. He was like, there's nobody attractive here, and there's nowhere to hang out here. And I was like, well, that's hard to hear because I thought it was fine. I remember when I'd never been as tall as you, and I've never been as good looking as you, and I've never been as rich as you, but I was once as young as you, and in the bars, and I thought it was fine. I saw somebody every time that I was like, that's an interesting looking person, and he was like, no, that's not the deal. So anyway,
Shameful.
What he quote tweeted is something I've actually heard his mouth to my ears many, many years ago. He might be wrong, but he is consistent. He's been saying this for a long time. I didn't like to hear it.
I don't like that man very much at all. So,
all right. Hey, yeah. Chris Vernon is the host of the Chris Vernon Show. Let's see what he thinks about all this stuff. Let's get his ugly ass in here. See what he thinks.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Absolutely amazing. Wells, a rhythm three. Yes, sir! Exclamation point on this game.
Grizz fans, defend your home court from pests with Terminix. Before cockroaches, spiders, and mice show up, Terminix it with our pest-free 365-plus year-round protection plan. Visit Terminix.com today and enter code SAVE50 at checkout to save $50. Terms apply. Go Grizzlies!
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. Journey. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. Your chance to say goodbye to the songs that changed our lives. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Ben and Doyle's back in the Built Ford Tough Studio, FedEx Forum. I'm in New York City. Chris Vernon is the host of the Chris Vernon Show, weekdays noon, Grind City Media. He joins me on Wednesdays. Today is Wednesday. He's here right now. Look at you, Chris Vernon.
Here I am.
Hey, I knew we weren't supermodels. I'd come to terms with that. Did you know we were this ugly?
It's bogus. Bogus. It's just they're just sore. The two guys that took shots at the Grizzlies are the two guys that feel like they got somehow wronged by the Grizzlies, and mostly Grizzlies fans, because nobody ever had one nice thing to ever say about Marcus Smart, for good reason.
Sure.
And Chandler Parsons needs to shut up. He got paid $90 million under false pretenses. He should just be thankful.
Right.
He should just be thankful. Like, his continuing, like, his bit is taking shots at Memphis. As if, like, they didn't give him $90 million for nothing. If somebody gave me $90 million to do nothing, I would just be grateful.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't spend the rest of my life crapping on them. And
I
these
would jump
guys,
on a podcast. Listen,
it's
I'd
also
jump on a
bogus.
podcast tomorrow. I'd be like, man, Memphis is the best place ever. I got so wealthy there.
It's also bogus. You travel, I travel. Okay, so yeah, like as compared to maybe Dallas or Arizona or California or a place like that, but like go to the Northeast and walk around and then walk to Memphis. Like, all right, so then everybody comes down here and they go, oh my God, you go to a college football game in the South on the weekend and I just never seen anything like it. Like, where do you think they all come from? We may have a problem in them coming back after they go to college, but they're all born and raised in Memphis. Like you think they grew up in Oxford? You think they grew up in Starkville? You think they grew up in Baton Rouge? You think they grew up in Auburn? You think they grew up in Tuscaloosa? No. Like, what are you talking about? And those chicks all have hot moms, and they do live here. Shut up. Give me a break.
Chicks all have hot moms.
We got, you know what I mean?
Make that the quote tweet.
Where are you? Yes. Where are you? Drive over to Saddle Creek. I promise you will not be like, God, everybody's ugly.
Get in the car rider line. Get in the car rider line. Ain't everybody ugly? What are you talking about? No, you're like that. That's the best way to put it. We have a place roughly an hour south that everybody says is the prettiest place on the planet when it comes to this type of stuff. You telling me we can't get some of that inside FedEx Forum for a Grizzlies game? I seen them in both places.
Not to mention, you apply, I apply, Bennett applies, all of us apply. This is the capital of how did that guy get that girl. Okay. Nobody belongs
Very
with
true.
the chick they ended up with.
That's
Nobody thinks I belong with my
That's
wife.
extremely
Yeah,
accurate.
this is the greatest place for a dude.
Nobody.
What are you talking about? Okay, maybe if you're not handsome Chandler Parsons and you got to, but I mean,
Yeah.
even you were, shut up, bro. Everybody saw you over at the Bluff. So you knew that, you know what I mean? Give me a break.
Yeah, don't act like you never took a 7
Just
home
stop.
from 10 roof.
Just give me
don't
a
act like
break.
you never took a 7 home from 10 roof at 245.
I will say, though, in Chandler Parsons' defense, his girlfriend at the time when he was here, Cassie,
Oh, man. I still follow her on Instagram.
bro, he introduced me to her one night. And it's one of the only times I've ever like you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I ever saw anybody hotter in my life. I'm not kidding. Then when he was like, hey, he's like, I want to introduce you to somebody. He's like, this is my girlfriend, Cassie. And I was like, you enjoying your time here? You know, I couldn't even believe how hot this girl was.
I remember we were at the game. And it's Cassie. I know everything about this woman, by the way. I follow her on Instagram. I know more about her than I know about 85% of my cousins. All right? I know more about what is going on in Cassie's life than my cousins' lives. And so we're at the game, and she's sitting courtside on the wood. And we're like, what is going on down there? It's one of those things. On that night, I know we were not the ugliest crowd in the NBA. On that
Ain't
night.
no way.
Ain't no way. And so then somebody else was like, who was sitting with us, they were like, here, I'll send you the link.
In fairness, that's not. So I will say, I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, bro, if that's what you're dealing with, like,
I mean, yeah, keep in mind.
We can't have the same conversation, right? We're not allowed to have the same conversation because
you're not allowed to call us ugly when comparing us to Kendall Jenner and Haley Bieber and Cassie.
Right.
That's not fair, man.
That's not fair.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking? Hey, I'm sorry we don't have Haley Bieber and Kendall Jenner. Okay? Apologies.
If that's the standard we lose, we cop to
Yes.
it. Yes.
All right, but guess what? Boston doesn't have Kendall Jenner and Haley Bieber.
Sure don't.
No. Sacramento does not have Kendall Jenner and Haley Bieber.
Right. I agree. No, these guys are hating, man. They're
just hating.
They're hating.
Just hating. Man, I tell you right now, Grizzlies, you give me $90 million, you could do whatever you want to with me. I'll speak highly of you forever.
It's one of the reasons I shouldn't even say this. It's one of the reasons that I ended up here in the first place. I'm not kidding. Ask Rosa and Devin. When I was making the decision, I said, look, and I'll find a way to get you guys over there. And I was like, but you got to realize, if I take this contract with 92.9, I was like, then the second things start going south, they're going to try to get me off the books. I was like, they're paying $90 million to Chandler Parsons. It's like, why would you fire me? I'm like below the light bill. You know what I mean? At FedEx Forum. Like if we're looking at the ledger, if we're saying here's the ledger, right? You ain't saving nothing by getting rid of me. At that place, it was like, I mean, if you get rid of me, it's a big chunk. Like, this is like it actually is going to save you money and save your job. And I know that rat Fink would do it in a second if it meant that he could keep his job. And so I was like, it's the reason.
I've said the same thing to other people. I'm like, if I would have stayed at 92.9, I would have bankrupted that place.
Easy.
Yes.
Easy.
And so go to the place where they have another employee who makes $250 million.
I was having the discussion. Rosa or Devin will tell you. I was having them discussion about the ledger. It's like businesses run on a ledger. Here's where we would be at 92.9. Here's where we will be, and we're below the light bill.
Yes,
so when when CFO guy comes in and he starts Xing things off to save money,
yeah.
Chandler Parsons is at 93 million, and here's us, and it's like you ain't saving nothing.
Over at 92.9, we are Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yes.
Over here, we're like several notches below Jemai Mashak.
No, Pugs will tell you. Our boss, I walked in about 3 years ago, and I said, "This is after they cut Killian Hayes," and I said, "You are not paying me Killian Tilly." I said, "You are not paying me a dime less than Killian Tilly," and he's like, "Shut up." And I was like, honestly, who's more important? See,
we have to be more valuable. I'm here. I'm doing something every day.
I'm here.
All right?
Yeah.
I hope to God I'm more important than Killian Tilly.
Dude, he sold all of his Grizzlies gear on the Players Closet, that website. We went one day, and it was like authentic Grizzlies gear, and it was all Killian Tilly stuff. He did. You know that website? There's a website. I don't even. So that's what they were doing before, like the NIL stuff. It was a big thing. But basically, players can go and they can sell. Like, there's all kinds of colleges on there. Like, I promise you, there's all kinds of Memphis stuff on there. Like, they'll sell you the warm-up shirts, the practice jerseys, the practice stuff, anything. And then the players, you know what I mean? The players just sell their old college gear. They're like, all right, I'd rather have the money than have this crap because I'm just going to throw it in Goodwill anyway. It's actually a pretty good idea.
I saw Cassie's had a pretty rough year, though.
Oh, no.
She said she's been through heartbreak.
Oh, shoot.
Damn.
It's a lot of stuff. I can't believe Cassie got her heart broken.
That sucks. I hate to hear that.
That does suck. I hate to hear that too. Hey, last night was a fun night of basketball in the sense that you got to watch arguably the greatest American-born player in the world right now go big, and we moved in the proper direction in the spirit of increasing lottery odds. That was interesting. 48 minutes.
I actually had fun watching last night.
Right, that's what I mean.
I was like legit like texting Devin and Roser through this. I was like, I kind of like this. You know what I mean? Like they were, and then I got mad in the third quarter. I was like, all right, they've got theirs here. I'll tell you who it was. I text them and I was like, oh, phooey, because because it was a pretty competitive game, and then there was, and I got excited about a couple of guys. And then at one point, they had all their starters in. And we had Clayton, Wells, Spencer, Rupert, and Hendricks.
Hey, that's all I heard there was multiple national champions.
And that was versus Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, and Dante DiVincenzo. And I was like, okay, like now this isn't fun anymore.
What are you supposed to do?
We scored like 6 baskets. I'm not kidding. Like with like a minute left in the third quarter. How many we score in the third quarter?
Oh, it was brutal.
Pete said we had 5 turnovers and 6 baskets or something. I was like, oh God.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Based on the lineups, you should probably have 0 baskets. So 6 is kind of amazing.
No. The first half was really fun. First half was fun to watch. Like even the first possession, they got a steal. Gigi had a dunk, and it was
because we kept the rebounding tight. Then in second half, it was like
no, they cranked it up. Right. We started playing the bench guys a bunch, and the die was cashed. But Edwards was absolutely awesome last night. I mean, they were trying to guard him and couldn't. Mm-hmm. He was so good.
No, he was. And it comes one game after he was, I don't know about complaining, but at least acknowledging, like, the way teams are guarding me right now is, like, I don't know. I'm a scorer, and I just have to pass the ball because they're throwing 2 at me every time.
We didn't. We did.
We did. Hey,
one-on-one.
Hey, Ant, you want to get 40? Come get 40.
That's why. You could tell at the beginning of the game, he's like, this is so awesome.
This is great.
Here we go. We got breaking news. Beep, 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 beep. I said this on Monday, and I'm glad this happened. The Grizzlies are signing Omax to a 2-year contract.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Oh, so actually this is better than what I thought. So they're signing him to a 2-year contract. A lot of these two-way guys, right? So his 50 days were up or right at the end. Right. And so a lot of them, what they're doing over the weekend, what happened, and you saw this with Nemhard's little brother in Dallas and a couple other guys. What happens is then they pick you up, and then you play out the rest of the season and then you have a team option for the next season, and then you kind of get to the end of this season, and then the agent is going to lean on you and be like, hey, look, these other teams have interest. Can you rip that up and do this and whatever? And so you can pick up the team option, but you risk, obviously, upsetting the player by picking up. Yeah. But you're giving them a deal. This is interesting because they just signed him outright to a 2-year deal, it says. I mean, that doesn't mention anything about the standard make him part of the team and pick up the option. I love him. I really do. I think he is so perfect as a bench role player. He reminds me, he has shot the ball so much better than he did at the beginning of the season when he's gotten more minutes. And he's very Brandon-y if he shot from 3 as well. Like, he finishes around the basket. He does stuff. He plays hard as hell. He's always in the mix. He switches on guards. I like this one a lot. I think this is a hit.
I am at the point where I think this should matter. In a league where so much of the narrative is that people don't play hard, I'm going to value people who play hard.
Oh, yeah. I was listening to a podcast. No. I was listening to a post-game press conference last night, and it was Joe Mazzulla.
Okay.
And it was basically, how do you get these guys to play hard every night, right? Because that's kind of one of the stories of why the Celtics are infinitely better than everybody thought they were going to be. And he said, I want to give credit to Brad Stevens because what he does is he goes and finds guys, and it speaks to what you were just saying. He finds guys with competitive character. That's what he called it.
Yes.
Right? That is not something I have to draw out of them. That's who they are. Right. And I even did this on the mismatch a couple weeks ago where I was like, it feels like, and especially you saw this with the Suns this year with Brooks and Gillespie and these others, and now you're seeing it with, Detroit, who's had the best record in the NBA so far this year, that almost like the money ball, the undervalued thing, is playing hard.
Yes.
Like that competitive character thing. When you go and find the teams that are better than what you thought they were going to be,
it's always that.
They give an honest effort every single night,
Yes.
And that's the thing. He fits the bill. Also, I do want to mention this just because it matters. When I just saw that tweet, when you guys put it up in here, that's the same agent as Cedric.
There you go.
Oh.
That's his agent as well. So
all of these things,
you end up being intertwined.
Always.
Yep.
But
there's the Taj Gibson, Zach Edey connection.
Yep.
Yeah.
Todd Rasmus is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Bartlestein.
Same agency.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that is Cedric Coward's agent.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, look, that I don't think that has anything to do with this. I think this has to do with Omax Prosper was given an opportunity. One of those weird guys that I bet when you would go talk to his college coach.
Shaka, loved him.
Yes. And then drafted into an odd situation where it was like a total win now situation. And he's, under Jason Kidd, and they're playing in the NBA Finals. And he's a 20-something pick in the draft. He's never gotten on the court. They end up trying to get more vets. They end up, it's a money crunch and whatever. And it's like a guy like that can get lost in the shuffle and maybe develop into something way more special than what you even intended in the first place. I like him.
That's right.
I really do.
Everything, all the can switch and all that stuff is great and necessary, but I like this. I like that he wants to play.
Every day.
Wants to play. He wants to compete.
Every day. And it'll never be a problem. And if he plays 11 minutes, he'll play hard. And if he plays 25 minutes, he'll play hard.
I want guys like that on my roster. You ain't winning championships with a whole roster of those guys,
right?
But you need some of them on it. You need some of them on it. And, so I co-sign. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
All right,
I'm going to listen to you at noon.
Sure.
I'll see you. That's Chris Vernon Show. He'll be in the big studio in, let's call it, 1 hour and 6 minutes. We come back, we'll turn our attention to college basketball. What looked like was going to be a Tuesday night, a lot of games featuring ranked teams, but nothing that looked that compelling on paper. It turned into a wild Tuesday night. I'll walk you through it next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's Ortho South at Ortho South.
Fridays at FedEx Forum just got a whole lot more fun for the family. With the Family Friday ticket offer, a $35 game ticket gets you a $10 food voucher and access to pregame shoot-around. Additionally, for every 4 tickets purchased, you get an autographed item from the Grizzlies vault. Capture moments that last a lifetime for birthdays, youth groups, and other family-friendly celebrations. Visit grizzlies.com/Friday to grab your tickets today.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis. Own the 2025-26 Grizzlies season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule. So don't miss out.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled. And Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more. orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Hey, possible future Memphis Grizzly, Darren Peterson. He was on television last night playing in another college basketball game. And, oh, buddy, it was a while when Kansas lost at Arizona State 70-60. That's an Arizona State team that entered 6-10 in the Big 12. That's a Kansas team that's got a Hall of Fame coach and the presumed number 1 pick in the draft. Things are not going well at KU. Peterson, worst game of his college career so far. He played 34 minutes. That's good. He missed 15 of the 18 shots he took. That's bad. Bill Self got ejected for reasons that didn't make much sense to me. I don't know if you saw any of it, Big Bet Bennett, but this whole number 1 pick in the draft thing is now becoming more of a conversation than we thought. Watch this, though. Bill Self gets ejected, so he's walking off calmly. This is great arena ops. Arizona State decides to turn this into a party. They're going to hit the smoke as Bill Self is exiting the court. Watch this. So good.
That's awesome. Good job.
It was nice to see Bobby Hurley get this moment last night. He has been at Arizona State for a while. He's on the last year of a contract. A lot of people thought he was going to get got last season. They let him come back. The season's not going so well. It's probably over for him just as soon as the Big 12 tournament is over for him. And yet he got to have that moment last night. They stormed the court in Tempe. And his best player in the post-game press conference, it was just great. It was sweet. He was like, this is my coach, and we all understand what's going on. Like, you know, but this is my coach. And if I had eligibility left, I would come back next year and I'd play for this coach. I wouldn't even look to go anywhere else. This is my coach. This is the best coach I've ever had. And I'm not giving up on the season. I'm going to go try to win the Big 12 tournament and try to go to the NCAA tournament and win that too. Because if I can do those things, then my coach can keep his job, and that's what I want. It was just sweet. He was like just fighting for his guy. And Bobby's one of the interesting people that I've got to know in this profession, because he's one of the people who, when I was a kid, I was aware of. That's always the thing that's sort of neat to me. Like, you meet Brad Stevens, you just meet Brad Stevens. We're both husbands, fathers, adults at that point. But, like, Bobby Hurley, I can remember, like, being a kid, and he's in the Final Four, and he's, I'm watching that game with my dad, and that's Bobby Hurley and Duke in a national championship. And then you get to know him because your careers put you in the same room. And I've always appreciated that and just enjoyed him. I like Bobby Hurley, and I hate that it's just gone the wrong way on him, because I do think he's a good basketball coach, obviously an iconic basketball player. But, like, I've just always sort of wondered what that like. You're in a very public job, and it's coming to an end, and you didn't want it to end this way, but it must be hard. I know it's been hard for him. So for him to get that moment last night, I liked seeing that, even if I had no, generally speaking, rooting interest in the game. Either way, the story is Kansas losing, not necessarily Arizona State winning. And Peterson now, his lack of consistent availability, even if that might be over, combined with various other things, has now made the number one pick in the draft thing a real conversation. And I say that because of this. Sam Vecini is my former colleague at CBS Sports. He's now at The Athletic. I think he's the best mock drafter there is. And I don't say that by grading the accuracy of his mock drafts. I'm sure somebody does that out there. I'm not aware of it. He might be the best, might be the worst. I don't know. I just mean he knows these players. He talks to general managers and scouts and evaluators. I can give you a good 45-second clip on any prospect. He can give you a 45-minute podcast on any prospect off the top of his head. I could bring him on today and ask him about somebody who's projected to go 37th in the draft, and I'd say, Sam, I need 40 minutes out of this prospect, and he could say, I got you. He works. And he posted his latest mock draft, I think, on Monday. And it had AJ Dybansta going number one, not Darren Peterson.
That makes sense to me. It just does. He's been putting up big numbers all season long. He's obviously available. And he was like the guy coming into the season that we thought would be the number one pick. And with this uncertainty around Peterson, I think it just makes sense. I mean, he's who I would take number one.
Vernon says the same thing. I'm still like, I can't get away from this. If everybody, Dybansta, Peterson, Wagler, Boozer, Flemings, Acuff, you name them, whoever you like, if they all become the absolute best versions of themselves, Peterson's the guy. He just is. But I think that's a terrible way to evaluate, because here's the truth. It's not just true with basketball players. It's true with humans. Almost none of us become the best versions of ourselves.
All the other stuff matters. Yeah.
I'm not the best version of myself. There's a better version of me, theoretically, right? You think there's a better version of you, theoretically?
Probably.
Of course, we could all be better versions of ourselves. So when you start talking about things like, if he becomes everything he could be, like the best version of himself, then, oh, buddy, you can't pass on that. I agree. But, like, how certain are we he's going to be the best version that you have imagined of himself? What if it's just not that competitive stuff me and Vernon are talking about, that NBA franchises are now valuing? What if it's just not there with him? Mm-hmm. Because I can't get past this. I don't care how your hamstring feels. I don't care if you genuinely have flu-like symptoms. It is Big Monday. The undefeated and top-ranked team in the country, the Arizona Wildcats, are in your gym. You're on ESPN. I would have to die on the court, I think, before I not try to play in that game. And I don't think that's unique to me. Like, I don't know how I could just say, I don't think I'm even try to get in this game tonight. That is a huge red flag to me.
Yeah.
Now, there might be a great explanation for it. He might say, hey, listen, I'm young. Because this is what, like, he's going to be asked these questions. And I thought through it, like, what would you say? And here's what I think. If I were advising him, here's what I would say. Hey, listen, I'm young, and this has gotten really big really quickly. And suddenly I have agents and my parents, and they're all telling me you're worth $1 billion, like quite literally $1 billion. This is the greatest draft in the history of drafts, and I'm going to be the first pick. Mm-hmm. And that means I'm going to get all that money, but then it also means I'm going to get the big Nike or Adidas deal or whatever. That's another $200 million. And then when I get to my first free agency, that's going to be by then, that's going to be like a $700 million contract. And so, like, yeah, they're telling me I'm worth $1 billion. And what they also told me is, son, anytime you feel anything in your body, you do not go out there. This is worth you are worth more than some countries. And so if you feel anything in your body, you cannot go play, because we're talking about generational wealth here. And I had that drilled into my head over and over again. And so in November, December, and January too, I was told the whole time the only way I'm not the number one pick in the draft is if I get hurt or damage my body in some way. I was told that by every adult I trust and listen to. And so I just approached it that way. And I look back on it and I can't understand why I did, other than I was just doing what I was told to do by the adults that I trusted and hired. But at some point I did realize I'm not helping myself by protecting my body. I need to show people I can play. I need to show people I can compete. And if you notice, starting mid-February, that's what I did. There were 4 straight games, and we were still trying to get comfortable with each other, and we were winning some and losing some, but I was playing 32 minutes a game. And I did that through the end of the regular season. So I understand why you're asking me this question. I just explained it to you. That's what happened. That's the truth. If he said something like that, how would you respond to that?
I mean, honestly, I would respect it if he just came out and said, I didn't really have a dream to play college basketball. It's just kind of I had to. They offered me the most money. and
that would concern me, because that would be like they offered you the most money for a reason, and you didn't feel responsible to show up and compete and fight. And that would concern me. That answer would concern me.
That's fair, but I mean, what path does he even have? Like, you have to do something for a year, right?
You can say, hey, if he likes sitting down and watching, he could have done that.
That's true. No, that's fair. That's fair.
I would say, frankly, candidly, I got bad advice as a 19-year-old. The worst mistake I made was listening to the adults in my life who I trust and who I hired to make decisions, help me make decisions, to guide me. And they told me to not play if I felt something wrong in my body. And so I didn't. And I look back on it now and I realize that damaged my reputation. I got nicknamed DNP on Twitter. Mm. I didn't know what was happening until I was already in it.
Yeah.
And you saw me close the season. You saw me compete. You saw me play. You didn't see me sit down anymore. When you saw me sitting down, I was doing what I was told. When I realized what was happening, I started playing. This is who I am. I understand why you're asking the question. I just explained to you what happened. I can actually listen to that. I can listen to that. But he's going to have an answer for that question. Mm. Why did you sit out the Arizona game with, quote, flu-like symptoms when you were never on an injury report and your own coach said he was surprised you didn't try to play and your own coach said he was disappointed? Why were you not in that game? That you're going to have to answer that question. He's got a while to prepare for it, but he better have a great answer when we get there, or else that's how Dybansta gets to the top of the draft.
Number 2.
Miami, 30-0. Another win last night. Yeah, it was close, perhaps even lucky. But they have played 30 games. Not all of them against Division I, I know. But they played 30 games. They've won them all. They've lost none of them. And as far as I'm concerned, this should just about do it. I said last night on Inside College Basketball that as long as they don't have 3 losses before Selection Sunday, they should be in the NCAA tournament. And now it is quite literally impossible for them to have 3 losses on Selection Sunday. They got 1 game left. It's at Ohio on Friday, and then it's the MAC tournament. So then you either win that or you lose once. But there's no scenario where they're sitting on Selection Sunday now with more than 2 losses. And yet, and I'm respectful of this, Joe Lunardi and other people like him, bracketologists, they say that it's still not set, safe, locked in. There is a scenario where Miami could miss the NCAA tournament. And that scenario would clearly have to involve this. Lose to Ohio, lose in the MAC tournament. That's the only, because Even
that
Joe
would
Lunardi,
just be such BS to me.
I just think it's wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong. I think it would be wrong. The backlash would be intense. Even Joe said, if they finish the regular season undefeated, I don't care what happens in the MAC tournament, they could lose their first game by 70. You cannot leave an undefeated regular season team out of the bracket, period. And I agree with that. But then he says, but if they lose to Ohio and then lose in the MAC tournament, then you got problems. And I acknowledge he's probably right because it's literally his job to be right about this stuff. But it feels wrong to me. It feels like leaving a 2-loss Miami team out in favor of what would probably be a 16-loss SEC team or a 14 or 15-loss Big Ten team. Just seems wrong. You would be putting in an Indiana team whose own fans hate it, don't even show up for the games in any sort of meaningful way anymore, not like they used to. Or maybe an Auburn team that their own fans are already on message boards debating and discussing who should replace Stephen Pearl. He's not even through year one. They hate their team. They don't like their coach. I know this isn't the type of stuff that should get brought up in the committee room because we should be dealing with data and numbers and all the stuff that is established. But like just a normal, like, let's just talk through it. Why do you want to rip away at Miami, even if they stumble Friday and then again in the tournament, MAC tournament? Why do you want to rip away the greatest season this school has ever had? This season that these fans are in love with. This season where they're flying Wally Zerbiak back to Ohio to be at the games, to talk to the team. Like, why would you want to rip that fun, awesome thing out of the bracket and replace it with an Auburn team that Auburn's fans don't even like?
Right. And the thing to me, GP, is like, who's to say that, listen, I get it, completely different levels. Maybe I'm completely off here. But, like, who's to say this year's Auburn team, if they were in that league that Miami, Ohio is playing in right now, who's to say they would do what they're doing in that league this year? They'd probably stumble. They're not a good team.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so Bruce Pearl got in a little trouble because he made some comment. Yeah, right. And like, I love BP, but he's in a tough spot, and he made things tougher for his son by doing this. I know his heart was in the right place. I none of my children have had high-profile jobs, so I'm not going to pretend that I know how I would act if I had a public voice and my son had a public job, and I was asked to discuss the profession in which my son worked. It's a complicated situation. I acknowledge up front. I'm not going to sit here and say I would never do that because none of us know what we'd ever do till you're in the situation. But by going out and pushing Auburn up at the expense of a Miami, Ohio, what BP did is make things harder for his son because now Auburn, fairly or not, has become like the face of mediocre, bloated power conference basketball that might steal a spot in the tournament from a more deserving Cinderella-type mid-major team. This tournament makes $1 billion because of the big brands, but this tournament grabs people's hearts because of the Miami Ohio's, the Butlers, the VCUs, the George Masons, the Loyola Chicagos. Like, that's a part of this thing. It's part of what makes it special, and you should not sacrifice that for mediocrity. I'll keep it as simple as that. And if you drop Miami, Ohio out of this bracket, no matter what happens going forward between now and Selection Sunday, you are going to be replacing it with mediocrity, almost certainly mediocrity from a power conference. I don't need that. Nobody wants that. Let's be smart about it.
Number 3.
Okay, so there's a wild night last night. Nebraska, which is, as of yesterday morning, still in contention for a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Think about that. Would be the first ever, I don't even know if this is true. It just sounds like something that has to be true. Could have been the first ever 1 seed that had never previously even won a game in the NCAA tournament. All right? And then they go out to UCLA and just get blasted at Pauley Pavilion. And so the final score, 72-52. Nebraska drops to 24-5. They're still fine. They're 24-5. Nebraska has 5 losses. They were a 3 seed at CBS Sports Bracketology on Tuesday morning. I haven't checked today, but I imagine they're still a 3 seed. I don't think it damaged them too much. But the story here is UCLA, who is kind of a bubble team, probably going to make the tournament, but it's been like a roller coaster for them. Every time Mick Cronin leaves Los Angeles, he complains very publicly and loudly. He hates the Central Time Zone. He really hates the Eastern Time Zone. He hilariously said once last year, as they're, because the Big Ten literally stretches from Los Angeles to New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the whole country. The Big Ten is the whole country. And Mick was like, I know I make a lot of money, and I know I fly on private planes, and I know all the things everybody's going to say when I say what I'm about to say, that I should stop complaining because, for all the reasons I really should stop complaining. I get it. But I'm the coach at UCLA, and I've seen the Statue of Liberty in person twice in the past month.
I've seen it more than the Hollywood sign.
Yes, that's what he was saying. Why am I seeing the statue? I'm the coach at UCLA, and I see the Statue of Liberty every other week. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So he hates traveling. They're not good traveling. But this season, they went 17-1 at home in arguably the best league in the country, certainly one of them. Never lost in regulation. The only loss was an overtime game. They beat 3 top 10 teams in the AP poll inside Poly. And the only other team in the last 40 years to do everything I just said at home in a same season is the 2012 Kentucky team with Anthony Davis that won the national championship. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
By definition, the past 40 years, we've had 39 national champions. We canceled the tournament that one time. And none of them, other than that Kentucky team, did what UCLA just accomplished at home this season. And UCLA is like not even considered a real national championship contender or anything. So maybe Mick, maybe the joke's on us. Mick has been trying to tell us for a while, this travel back and forth like this, it takes a toll on not just us, but everybody. He does have data on this. He can show you how no UCLA team ever has done well traveling east. And he can show you the data where traveling east is harder than traveling west. So he says we are not only at a disadvantage because of all the travel, we are at a disadvantage in the Big Ten because we got to travel that way, and they get to travel this way. And all the data shows it's harder to travel that way than it is to travel this way. And so maybe he's right because they are undeniably a wildly different basketball team in the Pacific time zone than they are anywhere other than the Pacific time zone.
It's a pretty good message to send to your fan base. I can't argue with that.
He's
it's a reasonable excuse. I have rolled my eyes at it a lot this season when he said it, but when you lay it all out there, it's like, okay, I kind of understand.
But it is so he has real data to support all of his arguments. The question is whether he should be making them every time he speaks.
Right. Like nobody wants to hear it. Yeah.
like even last night, so funny. He just can't help himself. It's just who he is. And I love Nick. He's hilarious to me, but this is who he is. They improved to 17-1 at home. Massive win over a top 10 team. He walks into the press conference, you know what he says? This tip-off time tonight, I mean, we have college students who are theoretically supposed to be in class tomorrow morning. Why are we tipping off this late? You know what time I'm going to get home tonight? More importantly, you know what time my players are going to get home tonight? We're supposed to be college. He just goes on one of those things.
Yeah.
It's hey, you just beat Nebraska. Maybe just be happy about beating Nebraska.
Yeah. I mean, dude, but the thing is we talked about this the other day. All of these West Coast Big Ten teams are struggling, or at least most of them. It's been a problem this season.
It's Oregon, it's been a problem, and Washington, really bad.
Yep.
I do a weekly hit on radio in Seattle, so we talk a lot about this. This specific thing comes up sometimes, and it is going to be interesting when you look back on all of this. We all understand why the decisions were made. Why is UCLA and Oregon and USC and Washington in the Big Ten traveling to Rutgers for games? Money. That's the answer. It's just they have way more money now than they had before. It's just a money grab. It's we can give you all of this money to come play in our league. All right, let's do it. That allows them to, I guess, give more money to players, hire more associate athletic directors, build better practice facilities, so on and so forth. But then it's time to play the games. This is what fans care about. Most fans of basketball teams and football teams have never been in a practice facility. They don't know how awesome the shower looks. They just want to watch their teams win.
Mm-hmm.
And so how advantageous is it to join a league that is geographically nonsensical, where sure, you'll have more money than you've ever had, but you'll also have more losses than you've ever had, fewer conference championships than you've ever had. Because by definition, when you start bloating these leagues and combining them, you still only get one conference champion.
Right.
By definition, once you bloat these leagues, you for these premier programs, you are at stake of winning fewer things than you have previously won because there's less things to win and the competition is harder. Is that fun? You know, I talk about youth baseball all the time, travel baseball and all that stuff. There's different levels to it, right? I don't know all the terms, but you've got an awesome 9-year-old travel baseball team. You might play at this level, but there's another level just below that. They play at a different park, you know, but it's still travel baseball, and everybody still got their names on the back of their uniforms, and you know, $400 bats. Got 11 of them in a dugout. Probably get by with 2, but you got 11. All right. But it's just a little bit lower level of competition, and you win a little bit more, you know? And then right below that one, there's another one. And you know what I found doing this? You need to play at the level at which you win because it is more enjoyable. It is not fun to play at the best level of the sport if you can't be the best at that level. Because even at the age of 9, kids feel that, winning and losing. You let kids win 2 games, I don't care who it's against. I don't care if the other team sucks. They feel good going to that Mexican restaurant. They can't wait to order that cheese dip. Everybody's happy. You let kids lose 2 games. I don't care how good the competition was. They ain't smiling no more. 2 of them's crying. 1 of them's quitting. Winning creates smiles. Losing doesn't. And that's going to be the story of conference realignment and bloated leagues. At Washington, they used to win stuff. I don't have to tell you about UCLA. It's harder to win things in a league that is this bloated with this much serious competition. And so is Washington, UCLA, USC, Oregon. You ready? Oklahoma, Texas, and the SEC. Do they all have more money than they've ever had? Yes. Are their fans happier right now? No. Oklahoma and Texas used to be in their own little sandbox over there. They just fight every year. And that was their little fight to have. And maybe every once in a while a Baylor would pop up or somebody would pop up. But, that was their thing, and they could win 10 games every year. And Oklahoma was basically walking into the playoff every year. And that was fun. It's fun to win. Hey, we got more money over here. Come over here. Okay. But now you got to beat Alabama and LSU, or else you're not going to be happy. Well, that's hard. Way harder than Iowa State and Baylor. You think Texas fans are happier today than they were 5 years ago?
I would say no.
No. They got more money, but they're not happier. That's going to be the story of realignment. Everybody got richer, but your fan bases, the enjoyment of just like what we get into this for, it's not as much fun because you're not winning as much. Every stadium I've ever walked out of, basketball arena I've ever walked out of, fans are happy when the home team wins, not when the home team loses, regardless of competition. It's not fun to lose, even if you're losing in the best conference there's ever been. And some of those West Coast brands that you're talking about, if they don't already realize it, they'll get there.
Number 4.
90-68 Cincinnati over BYU. A.J. Dybansta was great because he is. He finished with 23 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, but BYU lost again. This team was 16-1, Bennett. Now they're 20-10. It means they're 4-8 in their last 12. They lost one of their key players, Richie Saunders, to a torn ACL. But still, that doesn't explain this. And now, Dybansta, great as he is, basically eliminated from the National Player of the Year race. You can't win it on a team that's not ranked. And this team's not going to be ranked. This team has now fallen to 24th at KenPom, not in the AP poll. I'd be surprised if they win a game in the NCAA tournament unless Dybansta goes wild.
I was going to say, they're not in any jeopardy of missing the tournament, right?
No. Yeah. But they are in jeopardy of getting removed from it very quickly because they're 4-8 in their past 12. It just stinks because they were 16-1. They looked like a real national championship contender. 16-1. They had wins over, NCAA tournament teams like Villanova, Wisconsin, Miami, Clemson, TCU, and then it starts to turn on them. Richie Saunders gets hurt, and now they're struggling. So that's what happened in the game last night. But prior to that, Dybansta made the point that he's not sure he'll even leave college basketball after this season. He said his mother would like for him to graduate, so he could see him maybe trying to do that. Do you buy it?
No, because we've seen these guys go back to their schools and graduate after turning pro.
That's right. I never call a young person a, quote, liar for saying stuff like this, or because I think they mean it somewhere. Somewhere in here, they mean it. What that suggests to me is he's having a wonderful time. He's really enjoying it, and he's not eager to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. So I never want to stand up and be like, now shut up. You're not staying in school. But he's not staying in school. And it's because it is financially reckless to stay in school. Even as he's making $7 million playing at BYU and could probably make more next year. If he wanted to put himself in the transfer portal, it would be amazing to see what would happen. Somebody might offer him $15 million. Somebody might just step up and at Texas Tech, that billionaire at Texas Tech might just say, I'll give AJ Dybansta $20 million. Come be a Red Raider. It would be amazing if he got in the transfer portal. Thing is, he's not going to. And because once this is all over, people will sit down with him and his family, and they'll explain how important it is to get to free agency as quickly as you can, how important it is to cash that $700 million contract as soon as you can. And every year you stay in college puts that off a year. It's financially reckless to stay in school. A coach who understands this, honestly, wouldn't even allow you to do it. I've heard this from coaches. It's not always sincere, but sometimes it is. I've heard coaches tell players, you cannot come back to school. John Calipari used to say this all the time, and I don't know that he meant it every time, the way he said it every time, but it's a good line. He would say things like, when I talked to DeJuan Wagner, I said, if you want to help my family, come back to Memphis. If you want to help your family, you need to go to the NBA draft. I don't know that he always believed that sincerely, but it's a good line.
Yep.
And it's also true. At some point, AJ Dybansta is going to realize it's time to help his family, not Kevin Young's family, and he'll decline an offer that, once you throw everything into it, might be around $10 million or something. But when you're going to be a top 2 or 3 at worst pick in the draft, you do that. You get to free agency as soon as possible. I'm not arguing with the sentiment. I believe he really is enjoying being a college basketball player. Everything he's said and done suggests that, but he's only going to be a college basketball player for, another few weeks.
Number 5.
All right. Florida, your reigning national champions, blasted Mississippi State last night by 1 million to become the outright conference champions of the SEC. Ty Golden gets his first conference.
Did I have that one last night?
I think you said you're going to take Florida and lay all the points.
That was our game, right?
Yes, I think you laid all the points for Florida. Yep. Bennett, I'm going to give you credit. If you want it right now, I'll give it to you right now.
No, that's okay. I couldn't remember what our game was last night. I thought it was that one.
Bennett, let me shine you a little bit. 313, 268, and 4. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that like that. I take that back, maybe. 313, 268, and 4. You're plus 12.8 units right now.
Pretty good.
I'm proud of you. It is pretty good.
I like
it is
college
pretty good.
basketball season.
I know you do.
Yeah.
So Florida last night, they win. They blast Mississippi State. And I was on TV. Sometimes I'm on TV. And sometimes the things I say on TV, they get clipped. And they get passed around social media. And sometimes people go, oh, it gets real mean out there.
Yeah.
They'll tell you you're dumb. They'll tell you you're stupid. Sometimes they'll use the R word.
Oof. You shouldn't do that. It's inappropriate.
They'll tell you, I hear you. They tell you look like a penis.
Mm-hmm.
That train's never late. And I get it. I do. I get it. I don't even try to argue.
I don't think you look like a penis.
Not a big one.
I don't think you look like a little one.
If I were going to look like a penis, I'd prefer to be a big one, you know?
Yeah.
Ain't no fun being a 5'7" penis. I know what Marcus Smart was saying. That's my point.
No, don't give him credit.
I understand what he was saying.
Okay.
I think we're talking about Florida.
Yes, they blasted Mississippi State last night.
And then I said some stuff on TV and it got clipped. And immediately I'm getting called a penis and the R word. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Damn. Okay.
Here's what I said. You tell me how stupid I am.
Okay.
I was asked who's going to be the fourth number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament because Duke, Arizona, Michigan have 3 of them locked up. And I said, if Florida wins out, it will be Florida. Period. I mean, it's not period. You got to talk more than that on TV. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they won't ask you back. So I expanded on it. But the central point was if Florida wins out, Florida will be the fourth number 1 seed. Now, I don't even know that Florida's going to win out. That's hard to do in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think if you were trying to, like, if you said GP bet your 401k, who's going to be the fourth number 1 seed? I think it would probably be UConn because it's easier to win out if you're UConn. You don't have to play in the SEC tournament.
Right.
You have to play in the Big East tournament. It's like you and St. John's. That's the only teams that can win it. Everybody else is mediocre at best. So I actually think it will probably be UConn on Selection Sunday for the reasons I just laid out. But what I said on TV is that if Florida wins out, Florida will be the fourth number 1 seed. And here's why I said it. You tell me if this is dumb in your eyes. If Florida wins out, they've already got 11 Quadrant 1 wins. They're going to pick up another one this weekend if they win. So that'd be 12. And then in the SEC tournament, if they win out, it would probably, not certainly, but probably be 3 more. So they'd be sitting there on Selection Sunday if they went out 28-6 with 15 Quadrant 1 wins, while UConn, right now sitting at 8 Quadrant 1 wins, is probably only going to pick up 1 more Quadrant 1 win on the way to the Big East tournament title. If they win out, I want to be clear, they could end up with 11, and if it really broke a certain way, but they're probably going to end up with 8 or 9 or 10 at most.
Yep.
They will have fewer losses if they win out, but they will not be able to match Florida in terms of quality wins, signature wins, and Florida, if they win out, would be this. And this is the main point I drill down on. They would have at least 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 more Quadrant 1 wins than UConn if both teams won out. But Florida would also be the outright conference champion and the conference tournament champion of the league that is rated number 1 by the net, which is an NCAA designed algorithm that they use and reference. How is your outright conference champ and conference tournament champ with 15 Quadrant 1 wins relative to the algorithm you use and created? How is that team not a number 1 seed?
Right.
Particularly when in the net and at KenPom on Selection Sunday, if it plays out like this, Florida would be ahead in both.
Yeah, and I mean, just comparing the leagues, right? Like, again, UConn's biggest competition is St. John's.
That's
and
right.
Then who else in that league is getting in the NCAA tournament? Villanova?
Villanova, yes.
That's it, right?
Yes, probably it, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, just comparing the 2 leagues and the gauntlet that Florida had to go through alone, like, if it's close, I think you just give it to them.
The average net rating in the SEC is 47. The average net rating in the Big East is 68. In the SEC, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams in the top 45. In the Big East, they have 3 teams in the top 45. So, yeah, if they both win out, oh, by the way, UConn winning out might not even allow them to be outright conference champs. I just think ultimately the committee's going to say this is the best league in the country. This team's the outright conference champ. They won the conference tournament, and they got 15 Quadrant 1 wins.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be a 1 seed, even if they have more losses than UConn, even if UConn did beat them at the Garden by, I think, 4 points in early December. But it's subjective, I acknowledge. Either way, it sounds like one of those conversations we'll never have to actually have. Somebody will lose. between now and Selection Sunday. It'll probably work itself out. But I stand by it. No matter how many times I get called a penis on the internet, if Florida wins out, Florida will be the 4th number 1 seed. As always, we'll see. Be back with Carryout.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Wells, a rhythm three. Yes, sir! That's an exclamation point on this game.
Grizz fans, defend your home court from pests with Terminix. Before cockroaches, spiders, and mice show up, Terminix it with our pest-free 365-plus year-round protection plan. Visit Terminix.com today and enter code SAVE50 at checkout to save $50. Terms apply. Go Grizzlies!
I risk my life to tell y'all these truths.
Cat Williams is back. Brand new material, a new tour, and the same legendary laughter he's delivered for decades.
Nick Cannon got 136 children, Jesus. Did you know that?
Always classic, always Cat.
White people are friendly. You can call them at 3 o'clock in the morning with the wrong number and they won't even be mad at you. Hello? No, I'm sorry. No Shaquita here.
The Golden Age Tour. March 6th in FedEx Forum. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Cat Williams is bringing his Golden Age Tour to FedEx Forum Friday, March 6th. It's coming up. Get your tickets to see this legend of comedy. Take the stage for a night of laughs. Tickets are on sale at Ticketmaster.com or the FedEx Forum box office. It's expected to be all new material. He just dropped a Netflix special, within the past month. Kelly and I watched it one night and laughed collectively. It was Cat Williams is hilarious. So yeah, get your tickets. Golden Age Tour, FedEx Forum this Friday. Ticketmaster.com or at the FedEx Forum box office. Let's do GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
So Ed Scott, he's the athletic director over at the University of Memphis. Dr. Ed Scott, I should say. Let's be respectful. He spoke publicly today at the school's Board of Trustees meeting. He did not take questions from local media or any media, but he did speak, and the media has ears. And do you know what the media heard Dr. Ed Scott say? I'll just read you straight from the commercial appeal. Jason Munn's got the headline. Memphis men's basketball ticket sales have fallen short of the athletic department's budgeted goal by $1.2 million. Athletic director Ed Scott said earlier today, according to a presentation Scott made during the school's Board of Trustees meeting, season ticket sales generated just $2.7 million as of February 21st, which is well short of the department's $3.2 million projection. The overall shortfall numbers also incorporate single game ticket sales and parking. Here's the interesting paragraph. Scott declined to take questions from local media. following the meeting, although he noted during his presentation that, quote, every other sport that we budgeted for has met or exceeded their budgeted projections. Every one, without exception. In other words, there is only one sport over on that campus that is not meeting its budgeted financial expectations, and it is the University of Memphis men's basketball program. I'll never forget, on the day that Memphis announced the hiring of Penny Hardaway to an incredible public celebration, that it was a nice day. The president of the university stood there and did not mince words. He talked very specifically about the money the program was losing under Tubby Smith, and actually said something along the lines of, people will ask, how can you afford to pay this buyout to get rid of Tubby Smith? And the answer is, we can't afford not to. You can't lose money like this. It's a big buyout number, and I don't want to pay it. But if the question is, how can you afford to pay it? The answer is, we can't afford not to pay it. We have to fix this. Now, the difference between that and this is that back then there was an obvious fix. It was Penny Hardaway. How do you fix your... Go find the column I wrote from that day. That's what it says. He's going to fix this stuff that is problematic right now very quickly. Right now, Memphis has a money problem and a recruiting problem. And Penny Hardaway is going to fix those things quickly. If I wasn't right about everything, I was right about that. Right now, there is no obvious fix. You think Tony Skinn from George Mason is going to come in here and fix your financial problems? You think they're going to run and buy 1 million season tickets to whoever the next coach is? It's before Memphis fans reinvest in Memphis basketball, I think the winning's going to have to happen first. I don't think there's a press conference that can fix this. I don't think there is. I mean, do you?
I think no, I do not. And I think too, a big thing, and we've talked about this a lot. A big thing is you have to win at a big level to get people interested in paying the premium to go watch AAC basketball games. I think that's a big part of it. You're gonna have to win at a big level and have things to look forward to come March, right? For people to invest in a AAC basketball conference schedule.
I think that's true. And so that's why, despite everything I have said over the past few weeks about the state of Memphis basketball, I stand by every word. But I also, sometimes these words get lost. I think sometimes because stuff gets clipped and maybe people don't see the whole context of what I'm saying. You know, I tend to talk over long periods of time and make a lot of points within that. And if you clip just one part of it, you're probably missing something important.
Right.
It's fine. It's the way the internet works. I'm used to it at this point. I got it. But while I'm explaining with great detail how this has been a subpar 8-year run under Penny Hardaway and why this isn't just one bad season and all of that stuff, I also do say, and I said it Monday, and I said it again yesterday, I'll say it again right now, I understand. If he gets a 9th year, I understand why. In fact, I would probably do it. If I were Ed Scott, I would probably give Penny Hardaway another year. You want to know why? My legacy will never be negatively impacted by standing by Penny Hardaway for one more year. But firing him right now, you'll lose. Part of the fans will turn on you. Mm-hmm. And that'll be the thing they say about you forever. And when you combine that, what I think is a fact with this fact, I don't think there's a hire you can make that does anything to change anything. Really. I mean, you might be able to hire, I say this respectfully, a coach who could do a better job running the program, but it ain't going to change anything in that building until the coach is already doing the better job. So if my options are just keep Penny Hardaway for another year, because honestly, what is the alternative? Or fire Penny Hardaway, pay him more than $5 million in a buyout, then go hire some coach my fans probably have never heard of, or at least isn't some big name that immediately inspires confidence. Probably got to look him up before you even know who he is. A little bit like hiring a Memphis football coach. Like Mike Norvell, interesting. Who is that? Justin Fuente. Ooh, who is that? Like the next Memphis basketball coach might be one of them, right? This ain't the same job you used to be hiring for. So when you combine all of this stuff, like I can fire Penny Hardaway now, but it's going to cost me millions of dollars. It's going to cost me part of my fan base. It's going to possibly be the thing that people say about me forever. Then I got to spend millions of dollars to hire a coach who can't immediately inspire our fan base because it just won't be that way. There's no John Calipari for me to hire. So my next coach is going to have to win before any of this money stuff gets fixed. I can't sell season tickets again until my fans know they're coming downtown to watch a successful basketball team, and they're not going to believe it until they see it. You ain't going to be able to trick them with recruiting classes anymore. You ain't going to be able to trick them with, well, they're picked to win the league. We've had number one ranked recruiting classes. We were picked to win the league. Show me when we're good again. That's when I'll come back. I think that's where we are with Memphis basketball. When they're good again, people will come back. You can't make a hire to fix this. Whereas last time with Tubby, you could make a hire to fix it. The hire was Penny. I don't think you can make a hire to fix this. So for all of those reasons, despite everything I've said this week, and I stand by every word, I totally get why you would bring him back. It's probably the least two not great options, and this is the best of the two not great options. Bringing him back is probably the best of the two not great options. I think that's probably true.
Yeah, I think too, like this, tomorrow night they play South Florida. It's on ESPN2. Like, if that game had stakes, I think people would show up. I do. I truly believe that. If there's stakes in that game, I think people will care. But you have to have stakes in these AAC games late in the season for people to care. That's just my opinion.
I mean, I'd say that's more than an opinion. Like, people aren't going to show up to watch an AAC basketball game that is the stakes are, if you win it, you'll still be in contention to make the conference tournament. Like what? Like
no. It's got to be like we're fighting for the number one overall seed or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes. It's got to matter. It's got to matter.
Yeah,
it's got to matter. And too often in these 8 years, as we've gotten to the end of the season, the games haven't mattered. And that's how you end up with your athletic director today. I mean, this should be concerning. I don't care how you feel about me or Penny Hardaway. If you care about the University of Memphis Athletic Department, this should concern you. The athletic director, Dr. Ed Scott, said today that the men's basketball program fell short $1.2 million of its budgeted financial goal, and it is literally the only sport on the entire campus that did not at least meet expectations. Some exceeded, some just met, but nobody fell short other than the program that Penny Hardaway is running. That's not an opinion. That's just a statement of fact coming direct from the athletic director at the University of Memphis.
What's today's biggest game?
All right, Bennett. It's a SEC showdown, formerly known as a Southwest Conference showdown. It's Texas at Arkansas in the SEC. Hey, couple of possible future Grizzlies in this one. Dalen Swain at Texas. He followed Sean Miller from Xavier to UT. And on the Arkansas side, you got both Darius Acup Jr. and, of course, Malik Thomas, who looks like he could possibly be a first-round option as well. 6 o'clock tip, ESPN2. Arkansas minus 7.5. Totals 165.5. How you going to act?
Man, I mean, I feel like Texas is really fighting for something here tonight. I'm going to say they keep it close. I'm going to go Texas. And I love the Hogs. You know I love the Hogs. I'm going to say
the Hogs.
I'm going to say Texas keeps it close. I'm going to go with the Longhorns here.
Bennett said he loves the Hogs. He would not mind seeing Darius Acup Jr. in a Grizzlies uniform someday. But tonight he's going to take the Longhorns plus the points. Tip is 6 o'clock. You can watch it on ESPN2.
What are we watching on TV?
Okay. Somebody asked me this yesterday. We were in studio, and it got into it was actually a Mecca Okafor. Isn't that funny? You never think you're going to end up on a Tuesday night talking about television shows with Emeka Okafor.
Right.
You never think you're going to end up on a Tuesday night just sitting with eating Chinese food with Emeka Okafor and talking about television shows.
That's how I feel.
Former NBA Rookie of the Year and national champion at UConn. He had a funny moment last night. So we had that conversation about who's on TV. So who's going to be the fourth number one seed? This was a topic on the Inside College Basketball late last night. And Emeka said, I think it's going to be UConn. And not just because my name and jersey is hanging in the rafters. I was like, that's a flex. That's a flex. You know they only have 3 players? I think it's 3 players. 3 men's players. It's like Rip Hamilton, Emeka Okafor, and Ray Allen.
Damn.
I mean, that's it.
That's pretty good.
I mean, like Kimba will be there someday.
Yeah.
But he ain't. Right now, it's like I think it's 3 men's players and maybe 3 women's players. But Emeka's one of those. So he was like, I think UConn's going to get the fourth number one seed. And it's not. I don't think that just because my name's in the rafters and my jersey's hanging in there and I won a national championship there. I just think it because they're really good. I was like, okay, Emeka. Okay, flex. Anyway, at some point we're talking TV shows. He's like, GP, I need something to watch. What are you watching? I said, have you watched Pluribus? He said, I ain't watched Pluribus. I said, you're going to like that. Or you might not. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I loved it. And he's like, what else? And so we're talking through it. And then somebody yells from the back, hey, are you watching DTF St. Louis? Do you know DTF St. Louis?
I don't know DTF St. Louis.
Okay, I didn't
either.
What
does DTF stand for in this scenario?
I know what DTF...
Is it what I think it stands for?
I think it...
It's what I think it stands for?
I know what DTF stands for where I'm from.
Yeah.
I know what DTF stands for where I'm from.
Is that what this is?
Man, I tell you what, when you were young and you thought somebody was DTF, that was the best it got.
Yeah.
That was like the best part of your day if you thought somebody was DTF. Be like, I can't believe we got to this point. I think they're DTF. I believe that is what it stands for, DTF St. Louis.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Okay, so when they said it, I was like, what is that? I did the same thing you did, just with less of a beard.
Mm-hmm.
I did the same thing you did, but without a beard. And then they started describing it, and I immediately said, oh, yeah, I heard about this. And I think that's what's about to happen with you. DTF St. Louis is a new show. It's on HBO Max. It has just released its first episode. It's going to have 7 episodes. I believe it's just a limited series, not necessarily a new show. 7 episodes, DTF St. Louis, HBO Max. It's starring Jason Bateman, David Harbour, and Linda Cardellini.
I love all 3 of those people.
I'm not familiar with Linda. Where would I know Linda from?
And she from Freaks and Geeks. I believe that's correct. I
don't know.
Right.
I mean,
yes.
I'm aware Freaks and Geeks is a thing. I'm not familiar with the cast.
That is definitely her.
Okay. I know David Harbour.
She's great.
I know David Harbour. He got divorced from Lily Allen, didn't he? Is that a true thing?
Oh, yeah. My wife doesn't. She's not too fond of how that went down.
I think it got a little messy.
Yeah. My wife's not too fond of his actions, but I think he's a good actor.
Well.
Oh, she was in that show Dead to Me with Christina Applegate. I was like, what have I watched with her recently? My wife loved that show.
I read a story. I don't know that. I know Christina Applegate. Was that Married with Children? Young Christina Applegate?
Correct.
Oh, yeah. I think she's been through some stuff.
Yeah, she's dealing with, I want to say, I don't want to speak out of turn, but she has had health issues.
Well, I hope she's doing okay. Anyway, I read a story about David Harbour, and they said that there was this party at somebody's house in L.A., and Lily Allen wasn't there, but a bunch of Lily Allen's friends were there, and then this woman showed up, and she had been publicly connected to David Harbour, and even though Lily Allen's friends weren't there, even though Lily Allen wasn't there, Lily Allen's friends went to security and said, get this woman out of here. She was with our friend's ex-husband, and we don't want to be around this woman. Get her on out of here. And security went and asked the woman to leave, and she left. What do you think of that?
I'd have to get more details
I'd need to know more about it,
to have a judgment, yeah.
But I would like to think, even if I wouldn't want my friends to do something like that, I would like to think I have friends that would do something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Good
Anyway,
friends.
DTF St. Louis, good friends. DTF St. Louis is on HBO Max. Episode 1's already out. Episode 2 will be out at some point because that's usually the way this stuff works.
What's the best thing we've read?
Top 25 and 1 is updated over at cbssports.com. I wrote about Darren Peterson missing 15 shots and Bill Self getting thrown out of the game. I linked the video to that smoke at Arizona State. So if you want to see that again, you know where to find it, cbssports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's going to be Thursday. We're going to look back at Blazers Grizzlies. Isn't that what we're going to do?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Michael Wallace will join me. That's always fun. Should be a fun show. Looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. And we will meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.